We are cooking tahchin. Tahchin is a very traditional Persian dish, which is fundamentally rice with the yogurt and egg yolk, chicken, and saffron. So these are the key ingredients. First, chicken. For what I'm trying to make is maybe for 8 people. So about 3 pounds of thigh. You can use breast, is okay. So this is thigh, it's about 3 pounds. About 1.5 of diced onion. You need 6 eggs. And you use the normal whole milk yogurt. About half of it is enough for the portion that I'm making. Okay? What do you call cube of butter, unsalted. You need some saffron, which later on I'll show what we do with it. And then you can use the normal Pyrex dishes, like a normal size. I like this better for 2 reasons. They're a little bit deeper, and also one of the key attraction of tahchin is the crust that is formed around it. When I make it to 2 portions, I can get more crust. When I make it one big Pyrex, first of all, they're not as deep. Second, I don't get as much crust. Okay? The way to make it so that you can get everything done in order, first thing I do is I turn the oven I preheat the oven so I can put the dishes in a normal convection bake is good. And then this is to warm up the Pyrex with the butter in it. So for that, I just put some butter in here and I keep it in the oven so I can butter the bottom of it. And then the next thing is, again, sauteing the onion. Every Persian dish starts with a sauteed onion. I mix red and white onion, but that's okay. It's just regular white onion is more than enough. And with this one, again, I don't put oil in the pot. First, I just sauteed on a good size heat, so some of the moisture from the onion evaporate. So when you add the oil, you don't get as much splattering. So while it's cooking, I will put some butter. In here. Okay, this goes into the oven. I put, like I said, half of this in here. Now we're gonna put the egg yolk. Now people sometimes get nervous about how much egg yolk and how important it is. So you just get some of the whites out, and you don't have to be perfect about it, but mostly it's about getting the yolk in there. But doesn't have to be, sometimes you do that too. So I need to get another egg. Okay. I won't add too much oil because chicken has enough oil and juice that will add to it. So you do this until the onions are nice and brown. Okay, so while the onion getting ready, I had to put the 6 eggs in the yogurt. Now the saffron part. This is very Persian thing about saffron. So you take the saffron, about this much, you put it you put it inside this, because you really have to grind it much finer than what it is. So you grind it, and then you add it to yogurt and you mix it. So this part of it is not that complicated, and you don't have to go crazy about making it grind, just enough that, okay, because eventually when it's getting cooked, it's going to get ready. So I'm just mixing this. Nothing complex about this. So okay, you can see the onion is getting ready. You don't want to over caramelize it because you want some of that flavor to go into the chicken. So now you put it in a maximum heat and you add the chicken. and you want to make sure the chicken get nicely cooked on every side. And then you add the spices. So right now, I just want to make sure the chicken and onion are nicely mixed. And the part that a lot of people get nervous about how to add the spices, I will show you that. So I get the chicken nice and even, straight here. Okay. Now I add the spice. In this case, the spices start with turmeric. Every dish has turmeric. And I just measure it by eyes. Just make sure I'm covering. That's how much meat it is, that's how much it is. With turmeric, you cannot overdo it. It is good tenderizer and also is good for inflammation. It's has a lot of good ingredients. In this dish, it's very important, so you have to put good amount of cinnamon. That gives it more sweet flavor. And then pepper. I'm always a big fan of pepper. It brings real flavor in the dish. So I put a lot of pepper. And salt. Again, salt I just do it by eyes. Like how much chicken it is. Normally how much salt I want on my chicken. I just keep adding it. That's good. And then you mix it. It's important to mix it and get the chicken nice and brown. Before you put the cover and let it simmer, you want to make sure the chickens are gourmet cooked on the high heat, and then you mix it. Anyway, these are boneless and skinless chicken thigh. So now it's getting ready. So at this point, I let it simmer by putting cover and then reducing it to, medium low. Okay, so this can cook like this for half an hour to get ready. And in the meantime, we are going to add, I did the saffron already, so we wait. Okay, while the chicken is getting simmered, probably good 40 minutes, we are going to prepare the rice. I use again this glass measuring tape. It's about 6 ounces, so if you don't have this size glass, you can use a 6-ounce cup. And every one of this is good for 2 people. So the 2 Pyrex dish is good for about 4 people. So I put 2 of this per Pyrex. So 4 of this is good for those 2. So I put the rice here. I use the basmati rice. This recipe only works for basmati rice. And I like this extra clean version. The rice comes much better than other kind of basmati rice. Now you wash the rice. This is already extra clean, so you don't need to overwash it. But still, I wash it 2 times. Okay. So I washed it once already. I washed it second. It's good enough. You get some of the excess water off. You don't really need to get all of it off, just enough. And then you can fill it up with you can put warm water, and I go about inch above the rice. It's not that important how much more. If you have too much, it's okay. About this one bend of the finger, and then you put it on a high heat to let it boil, and you add salt. Salt in this case, you just put enough salt, because you're going to rinse it at the end, so it's not that critical. But you want to put enough salt so when the rice is getting cooked, it gets salt flavor. And then you can just put your finger in it. Taste salty. So this is not enough salty, so I put a little bit more. Okay, that's it. So as long as you put your finger in it and you feel a little bit salt in it, that's good enough. That's all you need to do. And we let this boil. So this part of the making rice is very important. So we, just like I said, we put the rice and the water and some salt, and now we're letting it boil. when it starts forming like this, you want to pay more attention. You mix it once in a while so the rice cook evenly. And then you take a couple of grain of rice. Okay, when you eat it, you shouldn't feel any crunch. Right now I feel a little bit crunch, so I let it boil for another couple of more minutes. Once you don't feel that crunch, it's ready. Okay, now in the meantime, while that's happening, I want to show this how this works. So this is getting ready. What I do is I take the juice and I put it in the yogurt. Okay, this is an interesting, gives an interesting flavor, more flavor to the rice. So I drain most of the juice out of the pot and I put it inside there, and this one I mix. So this adds more flavor, salt. So for the yogurt I didn't put any salt, nothing. So that's all you need to do. By the way, I add my oil for the rice in here. So when I put this over the rice, it has oil already. And some of the fat from the, or oil from the chicken is also added. Okay, so this is ready. Also, I prepared the Pyrex with the butter. Make sure with the spatula, you put it all on the side. Is everything buttered, so when you're ready to serve it, nothing is stick to the bottom. I did it on both sides. And now the rice should be ready. Okay? So I take the rice and I empty it here. Use the cold water to rinse it. And more importantly, you need to rinse the rice so it gets very cold. Because you don't want it to keep cooking. You just cooked it enough and you cool it off. Just like what they do with the pasta. Cold water, you cool off the rice. You know when it's ready, when you put your finger, you don't feel any heat. Okay, believe it or not, we are almost done. The whole thing didn't take even 45 minutes. So the way to do it is, we have the buttered up tray. We have two of them, so I'm going to show how the first one done. I put some rice in here. Okay, you don't squeeze it in, you just put it over here. And then you take the chicken and you lay on top of it. Okay. There's some juice in here. You can add some juice more. Add more rice on top. Okay. Now, this is very important part. You put the yogurt on top. You don't, oops, you want to make sure you don't do that. Okay. Now you let it sit a little bit till it goes to the bottom. You just let it sit, it goes, covers the whole thing. And I do the same thing with the next one. We're coming to the end. The Tahchins are in here, two of them. So now you cover it with aluminum foil. Now one of the reasons I like Tahchin over the other kind of Persian dishes, because you can make this a day in advance if you have a big party. You can make 2, 3, 4 of them and keep it in the refrigerator. And next day you just turn the oven on to 375 to 400 and leave it there for 2 hours. But you have to make sure it's covered with aluminum. So I cover it with aluminum. And then you put some hole in it. So that when it cooks, some of the moisture comes out so the rice doesn't get too smushy. That's it. So I do the same thing here. Then it goes into oven at 375 for 2 hours. But the last half an hour, I remove the aluminum so everything gets very crispy. You will see. Pyrex has been on the oven for about an hour and a half. You can see the bottom is getting very brown and the top brown too. But I just removed the aluminum from the top. We've been cooking at 375 convection. But after an hour and a half, I remove the aluminum and let them get more roasted. So you get more crust around the edge. Okay, and then after this we flip it, which we'll show you later. Okay, so I brought it from the oven, I put the cover on it, and then I flip it over.
Voila.
And then this is how you serve it. You cut it in pieces and you eat it. Enjoy. I have 2 of them, but there's only 3 of us. I saved the next one for tomorrow.